meet you at 155. Would you agree to that?
Yeah, 155, 153, 152. Just first of all, he has belt, WBC belt in middle division, middleweight division 160.
What's up, guys? So we're moving into 2016, and it looks like the catchweight game is heating up. The past couple of years have been red hot for the catchweight practitioners. There are new divisions being created almost daily to accommodate those that are not happy with the standard weight classes that everyone else has to use. These new accommodating divisions are a little confusing, as many boxing fans are unsure of who is fighting at what weight class. But never mind that. If you have somewhat of a fan base, or if you have a generous promoter or advisor, you can fight at the weight class that is best for you. Over the past couple of years, we have had catchweight divisions such as the 173 and 170 pound divisions to accommodate Mr. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Mr. Chavez Jr. didn't feel like cutting too much weight, so he created a weight class of 173 pounds in his super middleweight fight against Brian Vera. Then against Marcus Reyes, Mr. Chavez felt that he would be best to fight at the 170 pound division. And we can't forget that Mr. Chavez Jr. quit against Fanfara, not because he was losing the fight, but because the fight should have been fought at the 171 pound division. Then we can't forget about the future of boxing, Adrian A.B. Broner. With Mr. Broner, anybody can get it, anytime. However, certain people can only get it at certain weight divisions. Case in point is Shawn Porter. Showtime can only get it at the 144 pound division. It doesn't matter if Shawn has to completely screw up his body. You can see at his fight against Broner, Showtime had to completely transform his body and not only shed fat, but also shed muscle, just to make the 144 pound division, the AB division. As can be seen against the PED expert and detective, Paulie Malignaggi, Shawn is in great shape and fighting like a true welterweight. Shawn's strength is fierce at welterweight, as was exemplified by how badly he beat Paulie until Paulie cried. Oh, but that was because Shawn was using PEDs, or so Paulie says. However, Paulie was forced to step back and retract this baseless allegations after Shawn's father, Kenny Porter, scolded and manhandled the little Paulie in front of everyone and forced him to take back the false allegations. Next is the Mr. KC Puerto Rican champion, Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia prefers to fight at the catch weights of 142 and 143 pounds. Mr. Garcia will also bring up a 135 pounder and fight them at the ideal catch weight of 142 pounds, so both fighters are fresh and strong. However, Mr. Garcia is unable to fight fellow catchweight boxer Adrian Broner because Broner fights at the 144 pound division. Being that the 143 pound division is so far from the 144 pound division, no fight could be made between Mr. Garcia and Mr. Broner. However, recently, Mr. Garcia moved up to welterweight, and he fought Paulie Malignaggi at a true welterweight, and is believed to be fighting Robert also at a true welterweight division. However, if Mr. Garcia ever chooses to fight the likes of Shawn Porter, Keith Thurman, or Kell Brook, he may need to be accommodated and have to fight at the 143 pound division. Next up is the pound-for-pound great Andre Ward. Mr. Ward rarely fights, but when he does, he likes to fight at the 172-pound division. This division is optimal because at this division, Ward is able to stay out of the reach of both Triple G and Sergey Kovalev. We have been told that Mr. Ward has moved up to light heavyweight. We also have been told that Mr. Ward will fight 2 tune-up fights, then face the Crusher, Mr. Kovalev, at the end of 2016. However, we still are not certain if Mr. Ward will fight at the 175-pound limit or if he will need to be accommodated and fight at another division somewhere between super middleweight and light heavyweight. And lastly, we can't forget Saul Canelo Alvarez. Mr. Alvarez had been fighting at his own division for 5 straight fights now. Well, he fought at the 152-pound division against Floyd Mayweather, which was at Mayweather's demand, so that Mayweather could be sure to fight a drained and listless opponent. But against Angulo, Mr. Alvarez decided he didn't want to lose the entire extra pound, so he decided to fight at the 155-pound division. Then against Lara, Mr. Alvarez felt that he was very strong at the 155-pound division against Angulo, so he might as well fight Lara at this same 155-pound division. Against Kirkland, Mr. Alvarez felt that the 154.5-pound division would be best, so he decided to fight at that weight, of course for optimal performance. Then in his most recent fight against Miguel Cotto, Mr. Alvarez decided that the 155-pound division is again optimal, so he chose to fight for the middleweight title at the 155-pound division. Moving into 2016, boxers are going to have to realize what divisions are best for them and then create the division that they fight the best at. For example, Triple G may have to decide that the 159-pound division is best suited for him, and therefore all of his opponents must also fight him at the 159-pound division. 2016 is the year that all boxers must create their own division and work closely with the WBC, WBA, WBO, and IBF to make sure that they can have belts at their specific weight classes. Of course, for the right fee. Let's not forget, sanctioning bodies need to get paid also. I'm looking forward to 2016 and all the potential catch weights that will take place in this year. Happy holidays all.